Tonight on Cronkite News, the Arizona Rattlers battled their way to victory in an overtime thriller.
Plus, the annual Republican versus Democrat charity baseball game, including representatives from Arizona on both teams.
And if you're looking to head out on the water this summer, we'll show you what you'll need to stay safe while kayaking. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Kobe Mitchell.
And I'm Lindsay Dean. Thank you for joining us. We begin the fight for the NBA championship title. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers last night in Game 5. Perry High School graduate Jalen Williams dropped an impressive 40 points in last night's game to give OKC a 3-2 lead in the series. Williams, a third-team All-NBA forward, said that winning the game was cool, but, quote, "I won't have much of a reaction until we handle business. Every time you play in the finals, it's the biggest game of your life," end quote. Game 6 of the series is set to take place on Thursday at 5:30 local time, and if Williams and the Thunder take Game 6, they will claim the NBA championship title.
The Arizona Rattlers and the Tucson Sugar Skulls met once again at Desert Diamond Arena. But this matchup came up with a unique twist. While both teams battled on the field, Jessica Poole tells us there's also a family connection behind the scenes that makes this in-state showdown one of a kind.
The Arizona Rattlers and the Tucson Sugar Skulls went head-to-head in one of the season's most intense matchups. The teams faced off twice earlier this season, with each team claiming a win. The stage was set for an epic trilogy, and the pressure was at an all-time high.
Tonight, 34-9, melt, turnovers, lack of discipline. You know, the unsportsmanlike conduct showed up again.
Both teams were hungry for a win, with playoffs right around the corner. The Rattlers looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, while the Sugar Skulls tried to end their 3-game skid.
Some adversity I think it's good for a team to build off of, but right now we're having trouble finishing games.
The Rattlers dominated the first half of the game with multiple touchdowns from running back standout Ron Brown Jr. What started off as a 15-point blowout, the Skulls soon closed the gap.
We came out the second half, we got the ball, we went down, scored, we stopped them, and then here comes the turnovers.
The momentum shifted and eventually led to a thrilling triple overtime where the Skulls defeated the Rattlers 50-47.
Championship teams don't turn the football over. Starts with the quarterback, starts with me, you're looking at it. So I need to address it, I need to fix it, and I need to be better.
Not only was this an important in-state matchup, but it was a very friendly household rivalry. We have Kevin Guy, who's the coach of Arizona Rattlers, and Kathy Guy, who's the owner of the Tucson Sugar Skulls.
If she works, I work. You know, they did a good job. They found a way to win.
The Rattlers, now on a 3-game losing streak, plans to make some adjustments before their playoff run.
There's a lot of football left to play, so we got to get after it, and we got to turn up the sense of urgency.
As returning Indoor Football League champions, the Rattlers are not going down without a fight. In Glendale, Jessica Poole, Cronkite News.
The Rattlers are now 7-4 and second in the IFL Western Conference standings. Their next game is in San Jose against the Bay Area Panthers.
Although it's hot in Arizona, that doesn't mean we still can't excel on the ice. The U.S. hockey team announced their first group of players to their Olympic team, featuring a few Arizonans. Austin Matthews and brothers Brady and Matthew Tkachuk were 3 of the first 6 players named to the U.S. Olympic hockey team. They already represented the U.S. for the 4 Nations face-off earlier this year. Brady is the captain for the Ottawa Senators, and his brother Matthew helped the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup last year. The rest of the team will be announced in January 2026.
For young athletes trying to play at the next level, it can be hard to show off your skills. The Junior PGA Championships are helping provide aspiring young golfers with opportunities to play against the best competition. Emily Paulson has more on the organization's efforts.
81 junior athletes competed in the 2-day 36-hole tournament, all vying for a bid to go to nationals. Their ages range from 13 to 18 years old, with all of them hoping to compete at the next level. Golf isn't a sport for everyone. It takes patience, mental strength, and physical toughness. It's a grind, walking over 4 miles per round in over 100-degree heat. Only a few find a true passion for it.
I think just to see my game improve, and especially the people around me, like their support, I think it just makes it very worth playing in these tournaments.
The Junior PGA Prep Tour is helping to provide elite competition, top courses, and breeding the next generation of PGA golfers through their tournaments.
We have always supported junior golf in every capacity, and this at the highest of competitive levels gives the juniors an opportunity to not only play and compete against their friends, but advance to a national championship.
Getting the chance to go to nationals is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The Southwest PGA Junior Championship Tournament is the way for junior golfers to punch their ticket.
It really gives them a sense of accomplishment from starting the game to reaching some goals that in the game of golf are maybe never attainable, but really teaches them discipline, integrity in the game of golf. I think it just gives them a tremendous sense of confidence and accomplishment.
Staying focused for 18 holes against the toughest competition in the nation is a tall task at any age. Golf is a game of inches, with the most important being the 6 inches between your ears.
Kind of gives that pressure that, tournaments have. And if you just go out and play with your buddies, you don't really get that same pressure. But coming out here, every shot matters, so it just gives you that pressure, and it makes you better.
From local juniors to those around the country, tournament directors are there every step of the way to see them grow as players and people.
Watching them grow from some of our developmental events to coming to this event has been really fun to see, and they're just awesome to watch.
Playing on the PGA Junior Prep Tour is the first step of many for young golfers to achieve their goals of playing on tour. In the newsroom, Emily Paulson, Cronkite News.
Arizona State football is looking to build its future, starting with the next generation. Head coach Kenny Dillingham is using youth camps as a way to connect with young athletes and keep Arizona's top talent close to home. Young athletes laced up their cleats and hit the field getting hands-on coaching from Sun Devil staff and players last week. Head coach Kenny Dillingham, a Phoenix native himself, says he understands how special Arizona is and wants to keep the state's top talent right here at home. This weekend, he took that commitment a step further, handing out 6 golden tickets to the top in-state recruits in the class of 2027, signifying an early invite to be part of the Sun Devil family. Dillingham's push to recruit in-state starts early, beginning at camps like these. For ASU, it's about building a culture rooted in community.
And if we can create that connection, right, those kids and those parents are like, man, we need to get more engaged with Arizona State because my kid now is going out there in the yard instead of playing a video game because he saw the drill that they did at camp. And I think it all works together. And, when you're building something for the long haul, all of this stuff matters.
Dillingham says his goal is to make Arizona State the first choice for the state's top football players, and that building those relationships start well before high school.
Lindsay, the monsoon has officially started here in the Valley.
And if you've lived through an Arizona monsoon before, you know they can be quite destructive.
With our rains often come winds 60 and sometimes even 70 miles an hour.
Coming up after the break, what the experts say we can expect this monsoon and how you should prepare.
Plus, we'll take a look at our immediate forecasts, and it's about to get even hotter. All the details up next.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
why Cronkite can be creative.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. After 2 years of back-to-back record-breaking heat, could Arizona see a little relief this summer, Lindsay?
Well, Cronkite News reporter Eddie McCoven talks with the experts about what a stormy summer could do for us and the environment.
Well, there's nothing like a monsoon here in the summertime.
And Brian Blake would know. The longtime Arizona resident and his family have been involved in growing and selling trees, shrubs, and other vegetation at Whitfield Nursery for more than 7 decades.
What it really does for us is it breaks the heat. It'll not drop the nighttime temperatures, but raises the humidity. So for plants like the citrus tree here, they love it.
And we could feel some of that moisture in the air pretty soon. Arizona State climatologist Aaron Saffel is predicting a stormy, wet summer, which can help cool things down.
If we have more thunderstorm activity, that helps cool us off. So hopefully we'll have more of that activity and we won't get those extreme temperatures, but it can still happen. We want to make sure everyone is safe from the heat.
Saffel says conditions are lining up for a wet summer because of storm systems brewing over the Four Corners region.
We get that high pressure in that location and it starts spinning around and hopefully bringing moisture into Arizona. That's what we look for.
Blake says business at the nursery will likely pick up if we get some cooler weather, but he says now is the time to get your trees and shrubs ready for the storms.
With our rains often come winds 60 and sometimes even 70 miles an hour, so a lot of trees can break. So if you're going to do a little thinning on mesquite trees and especially Desert Museum Palo Verdes in anticipation of a monsoon, it's not a bad plan for this year in June.
And while we need the rain and we all could use some cooler temperatures here in Arizona, we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Reporting in Tempe, Eddie McCoven, Cronkite News.
And while the state climatologist is predicting a wet summer, she says it's still a possibility that some areas will get more rain and others may see very little.
I'm Brandon Cadiz at the Cronkite Weather Center. Let's take a look at the rest of your evening temperatures. Right now at the 6 p.m. hour, 109 degrees. And once you hit the hay, it is still at 99 degrees at our 10 p.m. hour. Now, for tomorrow, when you're waking up your furry friends like Sam and Remy, those two beautiful black labs all snuggled up, you want to walk them right at 8 a.m. when it's 90 degrees. Once you hit that 2 and 4 p.m. hour, we are nearing 110-degree temperatures. And our overnight lows for tomorrow, that'll be in the northern half of the state, in the Grand Canyon and in Flagstaff at 50 degrees. Down to the southern part of the state here in Phoenix and 84 degrees, and in Casa Grande at 76. We do have that extreme heat warning, which not only affects cities like us here in Phoenix at 112, but over to the southern desert parts in Tucson at 109 and in Casa Grande at 110. And over to Mojave County, that's when we will see the hottest temperatures, 115 and 114 in Lake Havasu City. Now, we do have that extreme heat warning in effect for the rest of the week. You see those red flags there. Thursday, our hottest temperature for the week, nearing that 117 mark. And for the rest of the week, we see our temperatures like this. A slight dip on Sunday and Monday at 101 degrees. At the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Brandon Cadiz. Back to you all.
Thank you, Brandon. Now, if you're out kayaking this summer, there is a chance of flipping a kayak and capsizing. Arizona Game and Fish held a clinic teaching kayakers how to recover from a capsize. Cronkite News reporter Derek Rivera reports on the importance of learning kayaking safety.
Flipping a kayak can turn into a dangerous situation if you don't know how to recover from it. A capsizing recovery clinic took place in a small pond in northern Phoenix named Biscuit Tank and addressed what kayakers should do when they find themselves in the water. Stephen Russell picked up kayaking last summer and is continuing to learn about kayaking safety. Russell came to the clinic to feel more comfortable when he's out kayaking alone.
I learned self-rescue when I flip my kayak. I know if you have a buddy, it's easier to do, but I have trouble self-rescuing.
All the attendees were provided with kayaks, life jackets, and a brief pep talk before they got in the water. Boating Safety Program Coordinator Josh Hoffman led the clinic. Hoffman enjoyed watching Russell and the others become more comfortable recovering from a capsize.
Seeing the confidence in our participants go up, that removing that
that unknown factor of what is it like to capsize and what am I going to do if and when that happens.
Kayaking safety is a top priority for Hoffman and his team, and he wants to teach fellow kayakers to have the self-assurance that they know exactly what to do when things go wrong. All the kayakers got plenty of practice and pointers from one of the 4 instructors on site. Anicia Leone is a boat safety education intern and knows how crucial kayaking safety is in saving lives.
It's really important what we do as far as teaching people how to self-recover, just to help prevent people, drowning or any safety risks that they might encounter on the water.
I highly recommend anybody to do this. If they're going to go kayaking, you should be able to learn how to self-rescue, how to do a buddy rescue.
Kayaking safety begins even before the kayak hits the water.
The best thing you can do to prepare for capsize is to wear a life jacket. The second thing is to rig for a flip. Fasten all your gear down so that you're not having to chase your stuff.
Anytime you decide to go kayaking, make sure to put safety first, and that can start by simply wearing a life jacket. In Phoenix, Derek Rivera, Cronkite News.
If you're interested in learning how to kayak, Arizona Game & Fish is having kayaking classes throughout the summer at various Arizona waters. Visit their website and sign up for additional details. Coming up next, a look at the headlines from around Arizona and the world,
including tensions that continue to escalate between Israel and Iran. President Trump is weighing his options for ending the conflict between the two Middle Eastern nations. What he has to say when we return. Set it off.
I'm not ready for
When I was younger, there were no engineers around me, so I had to become my own role model. At ASU, I wasn't just learning to be an engineer, I was actually engineering. And graduating, I already had real-world jobs lined up. Before ASU, my goal was to be a strong, confident woman. And when I left, I became a strong, confident engineer.
You meet so many new people who are on different communities, and when you do that, you're able to network not only, but also get to engage, talk to people, and make life friends.
I think that definitely surprised me, the community that I would find, because I wasn't really expecting it.
Freedom.
Friendly. Nice. I'd say cozy.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Travis Bradley with your news headlines. Measles has landed in Phoenix. The Maricopa County Department of Public Health reported a person with measles traveled through Sky Harbor on June 10th. The traveler passed through Terminal 4 and beyond TSA checkpoints in concourses C and D of the airport. This comes after 4 cases were just confirmed in Navajo County the day before. According to the CDC, measles symptoms appear 7 to 14 days after infection. Look out for these symptoms: high fever, cough, runny nose, and red watery eyes. White spots and rash may also appear 2 to 5 days after symptoms begin. The Maricopa County Public Health Department states they are working with officials to track all possible exposures. If you are on the plane with the infected, you will be contacted by your local public health office. Now to the conflict in the Middle East. Israel says it has killed a top Iranian general. The news comes after President Trump left the G7 summit early to meet with his national security team in the Situation Room to address the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran, which is now in its 5th day. At least 224 people have been killed in Iran since hostilities began on Friday, when Israel launched unprecedented strikes against Iran, targeting its nuclear program and military leaders, prompting a counterstrike. As of today, the death toll in Israel remains at 24, but more than 647 people have been injured. President Trump says he is looking for a solution.
Looking for better than a ceasefire. Remember, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. And then a real end, not a ceasefire. And then so something that will be permanent. Yeah, or giving up entirely. That's okay too.
The Iranian regime has warned people to stop using WhatsApp, Telegram, and other location-based apps, according to the Iran state-run news agency. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived to the G7 summit in Canada this morning. Zelensky arrived just hours after President Trump's departure. Zelensky met with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who promised several $1 billion in new support to aid Ukraine in its fight against Russia. Now to our nation's capital, with politicians rounding the bases and collecting trophies. Republicans won the congressional baseball game for the 5th year in a row, the score of 13-2. Cronkite News reporter Maria Loaiza tells us how a 116-year-old tradition continues to boost bipartisanship.
At the congressional baseball game, over 30,000 fans packed the stadium where the Washington Nationals play. The 3 players from Arizona got just a bit of playing time. Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego and Representative Greg Stanton struck out. Congressman Juan Ciscomani made a brief appearance as a pinch runner for the GOP team.
Hey, the goal is to win. One simple goal. Let's go out there and score more runs than the other team and then win it. And we want to win it decisively. So, yeah.
ICE raids, budget cuts, and foreign affairs have created friction in Congress. But for one night, players on both sides of the aisle set aside their differences to act like kids at a Little League game.
Well, these are very serious times in America, and we're dealing with some very challenging issues. So we don't want to get away from the fact that these are really challenging times. So we're going to fight for our values on the House floor. We're going to fight for our values in the community. But this game happens to be a tradition in Congress, a good bipartisan tradition.
In Congress, it's no contest. Republicans control both the House and Senate. On the field, well, it's also no contest. Republicans won 31-11 last year. This time around, they were up 5-0 by the end of the second. Democrats never had a chance. Let's go! Gallego made the final out, but he had a lot on his mind. The day after the game, his wife gave birth to their 3rd child, a baby boy. In Washington, Maria Loaiza, Cronkite News.
The game raised more than $2.8 million for local charities, including the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington and the U.S. Capitol Police Memorial Fund. That's it for this look at your news headlines. I'm Travis Bradley. Now back to Kobe and Lindsay.
Coming up, the College World Series is starting off hot for baseball fans.
That's right, Lindsay. And who would have thought history would have been made in the first round of the series? A historic performance from a young Razorbacks pitcher kicks off the series, and we'll be right back with that.
This is where Cronkite can be creative.
3, 2, 1.
Coming up on the cut.
Coming up on the cut. Coming up on the cut.
How students can build their broadcast journalism portfolio with opportunities to learn more about on-air reporting and studio production.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X @cutASU.
Welcome back. Now heading into the college baseball world. And speaking of world, the men's college baseball World Series against Arkansas and Murray State caught a lot of attention, Lindsay.
Yes, the Razorbacks mound dominated the Racers over the plate thanks to their pitcher, Gage Wood.
Wood had an amazing performance, ending in a no-hitter for the Hogs. He notched 19 Ks across 119 pitches, making it a new career high. He put up a perfect 7 innings before hitting a batter in the foot in the 8th inning. The Razorbacks won 3-0, and they face UCLA tonight in Game 10 of the series. That's it for this edition of Cronkite News. I'm Kobe Mitchell.
And I'm Lindsay Dean. Thank you for joining us. And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.